the morning steam, it's time to break one for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott, running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
And a pleasant good morning to you from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the Morning Steam Show. I'm here for Monday, August 17th. We've got Major League Baseball on tap here for Monday. We've got one game as well in the WNBA, and that's going to get our week started here. Not a full slate of Major League Baseball, but enough to keep us interested as we get ready for another week of some preseason football this week, and got more WNBA. We're winding down here, the last 10 games or so of the season. We got 40 games left in Major League Baseball, but we're ready to go really in the NFL. We want some college football. We got all kinds of football. This is a big week to get things rolling. Good to see everyone here with the show. Won't be here for too long, but we can take care of it in about an hour or so, I'm sure, and recap some of the action from yesterday. Say hello to the folks in the chat here right now and get rolling. So give me a minute here to get started and just recap some of the games from yesterday and see how we did. No, there was some crazy results there yesterday. Nothing like what we saw on Saturday, but did have the Orioles over the Rays 10-2. The Rays were winning 1-0 when Freddie Peralta was taken out of the game, and then Tampa Bay proceeded to pound the Rays into submission. You know, the Orioles have a half-game lead for the last wild card slot right now. I don't know how that is, but apparently it's true. And, they're up there outpacing teams right now, such as Texas, Seattle, Minnesota, Detroit, Cleveland. It's Baltimore that leads. Could all three wild cards come from the East? Right now, that's what it says here. The Orioles have that slim lead. They beat Tampa 10-2 yesterday. Also, it was the Angels over the Royals over the Angels 3-0. Noah Cameron threw a 9-inning, 115-pitch complete game. In his last 5 starts, Cameron's only allowed 5 runs in 37 2/3 innings. Angels have gone under in 6 of their last 7. Padres over the Guardians 5-0. Casey Mize allowed 3 hits in 6 innings. Renifo, Sheets hit back-to-back home runs in the second inning, and the Padres and the Phillies are tied for the last 2 wild card slots in the National League. Cardinals pounded the Cubs 11-4. Burleson, Jordan Walker, both had 4 RBI. What happened to Joshua Baez, the greatest hitter in Major League Baseball history? Well, right now he's down to 333 after going 0 for 5. Cubs number 1 in the wild card here right now, but what happened to Baez? Couldn't hit another home run there. Anyway, we got some other finals here as well. Some winners here with me. I had the Brewers on the run line against the Dodgers yesterday. Brewers won it 6-2. Man, it was embarrassing out there. Kyle Tucker just went on an 0 for 19. He dropped the ball out there. The fans were booing him. You hate to see it right now, man. Tucker making $60 million a year, and basically has 11 home runs and 400 at bats this season. Really bad at home, actually. Big difference. Actually plays much better on the road, but boy, right now the Dodgers here. Rest in peace, Tommy John. But right now, the Dodgers totally falling apart here right now. We had the Brewers on the run line. Should have took them on the money line, but Henderson out-dueled Skubal there. They can't even win with Skubal. That's how bad things are with this team right now. Also, we had a morning steam winner with the Yankees, first 5 under yesterday against the Blue Jays. And, Yankees were able to get the win there. Ben Rice at the two-run home run in the top of the 10th inning, giving the win there over the Jays. Jays had perked up here a little bit. They're in that wild card chase, but you got to win some of these games here. Athletics and Rangers, first 5 under. We had a winner there in that one, as saw the Athletics win it 5-2, as Lawrence Butler, Zach Geloff at two-run home runs each in that one, as the A's, and behind Lopez. Hey, we had Lopez there. Hey, hopefully you're getting my cover the spread video too. We had the A's there in the cover the spread video yesterday. We also had that Royals Angels under the cover the spread video as well. Mariners and Astros was the Mariners winning at 3-2. We had the morning steam winner here with the Mariners, as they were able to get the win there over the Astros. And it didn't quite for the Mariners. They were able to get one. I thought it might be a higher scoring game, but we did take the Mariners here on the show. Seattle parlayed that 2-0 lead into a 3-2 victory. Also, morning steam winner yesterday with Boston and Pittsburgh game to go over, and it did indeed go over 8-3. The Pirates were able to get the win there in that one over the Red Sox. Brian Reynolds, RBI single and an RBI double. No problem. Sox, they're probably going to get in there with the Yankees, and they'll have to have 6 or 7 teams battling for that last playoff spot. Also, we had a morning steam winner here, Philadelphia and Minnesota game to go over in the first 5. Also had the Win Club in that one with the game total over as well. So we piled on, and that total there as Philadelphia won it 7-5 behind Painter. Beating Kramer in there again, and the Phillies get the win there over Minnesota in that one, as Alec Baum hit a 3-run home run. Also here, WNBA, we did have Seattle there plus 2.5. Barely got home there against Chicago. Notice here, all 3 WNBA games yet went under yesterday. That is 14 straight unders in the WNBA period. Just go under here at this point, it feels like. All right, hopefully we covered some of the games in there. I know there were some other finals in there as well. Miami beat up on the Reds there 7-1. Also, the Mets took care of the Nationals 4-3. Luis Torrens hit a 2-run home run in that one. And White Sox over Detroit 7-5 to keep it going right now, man. White Sox pulling away from the teams in the Central. Murakami hit a 2-run home run. Vargas hit a home run as well for the White Sox in that one. Okay. Good to see everyone here. Let's say hello, and maybe we can get rolling. Bobby Mack is here today. Good to see Bobby Mack here. Nick Handy ready to go off that great performance with the guys on Saturday with the UFC. Look, sometime today we're going to have our UFC Dana White Contender Series preview show. I don't have the time just yet, but we're going to preview the fights for the Contender Series. 10 fighters looking for contracts here on Tuesday. We also have UFC action here this weekend as well. Ryan Mueller's here today. Kevin Hawthorne joining us from beautiful Lakeland, Florida. Jimmy Lambo is here. He's ready to go. He says, how about Reese missing that layup? Man. And then, of course, they're going to show Clark laughing in the background, but that was a typical Reese basket, right? Feels like me out there shooting hoops and you can't put it in, from just trying to lay it up. All right, let's get a move on here and talk a little Major League Baseball for today. We have 11 games. Hey, you can get more picks from me over at winnable.com/Ramon. Use the promo code STEAM at checkout to save 20% off those premium pick packages. We'll try to give away at the end of the show. Free picks from me here. When you just type into the chat, just say hello and I'll include you in the drawing here today over at winnable.com. Use that promo code STEAM to get subscribed to my premium picks. You would have got these winners here yesterday. I also include every day my Cover the Spread show as part of my free selections over at winnable.com. So check it out and get my best video, get a video of me, my best plays here on Cover the Spread every day, and you'll get also my premium picks when you subscribe, but you need not have to subscribe with a subscription over there to get the Cover the Spread video. Just subscribe for free over at winnable.com, and today I have a 3-pack in there. Got 5 baseball picks in there, so better go subscribe right now over at winnable.com/Ramon to get those top video plays from me today. In the meantime, we'll start here with our picks on the show and get rolling, man. I feel bad, like the show's going to be over before we start. We've only got a dozen people in here, but, well, it's Monday and not everybody wants to talk Major League Baseball with me here. But let's get to it. First up, we have the Cardinals here taking on the Reds with Quinn Matthews going for the Cardinals. Now, we don't know. Actually, let me catch up and see what's gone on here overnight with this matchup. It feels like we're in the same spot here, kind of. Nothing much has changed, so I think we are going to end up here with somewhat of a bullpen game for both teams. This one was back from a few months ago when they had one single rain out in a weekend series. I think it was a weekend series anyway, but there was series in there back in June with the Cardinals and the Reds, and they had one postponement in there, and this is it. So they're actually playing a doubleheader here today, and the Reds will have Chad Petty here going in this one. Chase Petty, 4.83 ERA, 1-2 record. I think it'll be Petty. All indications right now are that this is the matchup that we are somewhat expecting. The Cardinals are about $1.15 or $1.20 favorite. They're definitely playing a little bit better than the Reds right now. The Reds have lost 2 in a row, while the Cards have won 2 in a row. But maybe just glorified openers here for these two teams, and maybe they'll have to piece it together with some bullpen work today because there is another game, a day-night doubleheader. So let's see what you got here in game one. The total certainly reflecting that it should be a high-scoring game given the nature of the contest and, two basically, I'll call them relievers or openers here in this one today. So let's see what you have with Matthews against Chase Petty. Matthews is, a promising prospect. Made his debut against the Blue Jays. It wasn't a great matchup for him. He did give up 6 hits, 2 earned runs, and 3 walks in 5 innings, but um, he did have some promising metrics there anyway. Reds have been pretty good here against left-handers for the most part. Uh, Probably in the top 10 against lefties this season, but they've struggled here of late once again as this number 30 lineup basically last in the league here. Can't get anything going against anybody. So, like I said, Cardinals playing a little bit better than the Reds for sure. Cardinals are 23 and 32 to the under on the road. We know the Reds, at home, maybe they're a little bit 50-50 over under, but this one is at 1:40 Eastern, 10:40 Pacific. Petty was pretty poor in the bullpen so far this season with a 4.83 ERA. He also was down there in the minors for a while, got sent down. So this is obviously a bullpen game. He was bad in the minors too. Gave up 7 earned runs across 3 1/3 innings in his 2 appearances this month. So Reds pen as a whole has been kind of going downhill, and Antone and Garcia, they were used heavily there both days there for the guys, I think. So Cardinals, though, they've definitely been stepping it up here on offense. We'll see if the Reds can get anything done, maybe against a young pitcher like Matthews. They could perk up here a little bit. The total certainly indicates that way at 9.5 here, but let's go to the chat and see what you got here in this one, Cards and Reds. Here we go. Thank you, everybody. Here we go with some picks from the chat. Jimmy Lambo says take Cincinnati, first 5 plus a half. And Robert's on the Reds here. Farley, though, says take the Cards in this one. So it looks like Reds a 2-1. 2-1 there for the Reds. I'll take the under in this one. Give me the under here on the morning steam show at 9.5 minus $1.20. All right, now we're going to get into the evening action. We'll skip the second game. Well, we won't skip it, but we'll go to the Cardinals and the Reds game 2 right after the first game of the schedule. We'll just keep it in chronological order. So that means the Orioles will take on the Rays here with Brandon Young for the Orioles. Been very sharp here. 3.33 ERA, 1.32 whip for Young coming in. He's been a great part of the Orioles here. I'd almost say part of their great still hanging in there as part of Young, because Young has an incredible statistic so far this season for Brandon Young. The Orioles are 16-4 when Young pitches here. Now he is going up against McClanahan, but man, that is impressive. Look at this total. 7.5 over 20. It feels like it's even lower than that right now, but I don't know. You get a pretty decent number, and you're going to have some good pitching in this game. I would imagine these two pitchers can, go a while here and maybe keep this one a pretty low score early on, maybe even a little bit deeper. For Young, he's got a 249 batting average against 1.3 whip, but his strength is keeping the team in the ball game. He's 9-3 overall. McClanahan, we know how sharp he is. 309 ERA, 1.12 whip, 206 batting average against, but the Rays have actually lost 3 in a row there. They struggled to this Orioles team. This is actually a wraparound series with an afternoon game. The Orioles have won the first 3 games of this series, 6-5, 4-3, and 10-2. I'd say the Orioles have their number right now. Almost, you almost got to take them with this price and this number and everything. I kind of want to take these Orioles right now. Man, they're looking good here. I don't know if I could take them on the run line here. still a little bit high there, but boy, I don't mind this Orioles team right now playing about as good as they have. They've moved into the playoff spot here. They're the team that's getting attention here, and the Rays can't seem to figure them out. So, all right. Well, I can't take them on the run line. Let's just take them straight up to win again. Why not? Give me the Orioles here in this one. I'm going to take them on the morning steam show here, plus $1.40, let's call it $1.35 to be conservative, but I'm going to take them to give me the Orioles here. The Orioles are actually a losing proposition this season. You wouldn't think they would be, but they're still sub 500 on the road. Don't get me wrong here. McClanahan, the Rays are 41-21 at home, but again, this is just a series where Baltimore just owns Tampa Bay, believe it or not. Hard to believe. All right, let's see. Terrell says, good morning. He wanted the Cards team total over, but it wasn't available, so he took the Cards on the money line. Yeah, until they get it figured out here with the pitching today, they're probably going to limit the types of bets. It'll come available, I'm sure. Farley's on the O's money line. Robert says, you can take him at +1. That's a little bit closer to a better price there. And then you don't have to lay $1.60 with that 1.5. Terrell says the Rays and McClanahan on the money line. Well, yeah, that's a heavy price on McClanahan. Certainly they might be able to, if they're going to get one pitcher to right the ship here a little bit, right? McClanahan, the Rays are 12-8 with McClanahan this season, so I got to try these Orioles again. Hey, we were on them yesterday. Might as well try them again. We took the Orioles a little bit here this weekend. All right, next up now, we're going to get to game 2 here with the Cardinals and the Reds. Now, should that pitching hold true in that first game with Matthews and Petty and a little bit of a bullpen game, this game starts at 6:40 Eastern, 3:40 Pacific. You've got Andre Palante, 12-6 with a 3.46 ERA. He's been solid for the Cardinals. I think most people agree with that. Cardinals are 14-9 with Palante on the mound. He's had a 1.21 WHIP, 240 batting average against, and a 276 BABIP. So pretty decent numbers for the Reds here with Rhett Lauder. Comes in here. We'll see. There was talk here. Let me take a look here one more time here with the pitching in this game with Lauder. I want to make sure I have this right because, we know Palante is probably going to be in there for sure. He's been doing well in the last few starts, 3 earned runs in his last 4 games with a 1.43 ERA in his last 4 games with 226 batting average against. He faced the Reds actually 3 weeks ago and went 7 innings, 8 strikeouts, and 2 hits allowed with no earned runs. So he was able to mow these guys down, was Palante. And we know the Reds, like we said, they're terrible against right-handed starting pitching. Really, probably the worst in the league as well. And not going anywhere with this offense is really bad. So, at least this total is a little bit less, maybe because it's not expected to be a bullpen game, but it is 9/20. Would I dare go under in both games of this doubleheader here today? I'm going to take the Cardinals here. I'll take the Cards in this one, but Reds here in this offense, they just got shut out yesterday, right? By Yuri Perez. No, Yuri Perez is pretty good, but even Ryan Gusto was mowing down the Reds the other night as well. Reds are averaging just 3.6 hits and 1.9 runs in their last 10 starts against right-handed pitching here. So, Lauder hasn't been great, but he's been consistent, at least of late. Last 3 games, 3.12 ERA, so got to give him a little bit of credit here. But again, the offense maybe here, not enough here for the Reds right now. They got to spread it out over a doubleheader. We'll see. It's a doubleheader. Maybe they could earn a split here. They're still just 5 games under 500, but it's the Cardinals who are actually more in contention, if you will, here than the Reds right now. Like I said, in the National League, it's a little different than the American League as far as the wild card chase is concerned. The Cubs are out there, and the Phillies are out there, and the Padres are out there, and then Arizona. So teams like the Reds and the Pirates, and Miami even, they've got some work cut. They got their work cut out for them. And time is running out. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let's see the chat here. We got Robert here. Will take the Cardinals with me in this one. Cardinals. Hey, look, they're on the outside looking in, but you got two chances today. All right, next up here. Hopefully, we'll see in those. How the pitching shakes down, but that's what it feels like anyway. Got to do the best we can. All right, next up, you got the Marlins here going up against the Phillies. The Phillies had a pretty good week there at the Field of Dreams game and beat up on the Twins for a 3-game winning streak. But Miami comes in here with a couple of wins in a row as well. So they were able to knock off the Reds there in back-to-back games and really beat them up, actually. Lost the first one 1-0, but then bounced back to win 8-4 and 7-1. So, yeah, Miami's not too great on the road. You got Sanchez here, 245 favorite, but man, that's pretty high. I don't care how good the Phillies are rolling here right now. A junk might be the weak link here on the Marlins, but still the 1.32 whip, 267 batting average against. Now, junk, not terrific numbers here, but Miami, they're kind of the team you want to take when they got a big price against them. You don't want to take them necessarily when they're $1.20 favorites against some mediocre team, but take them here maybe against the Phillies, although Stowers remains out right now, and Junk has allowed just 4 earned runs in his last 4 starts, period. That was against the Padres, the Mets, the Braves, and the Pirates. So, pretty good. 1.93 ERA in his last 3 games. Does give up a 300 batting average to left-handed hitters on the season, but the Phillies, they've looked good offensively here over the last week or so. They're taking walks. They got a good on-base percentage here right now, and of course Sanchez gives them another level because he was a Cy Young candidate, but the Miz got that on lockdown now, but doesn't matter. Still, they've been pretty good at home here. 1.14 ERA, 1.82 FIP at home this season for Sanchez. So, yeah, it's kind of tough to go against him here, I guess. But, with this price here, 250-ish or so, when you're going up against a Marlins team, like I said, they're not in the playoffs right now, but they're certainly in contention here with some of these teams. They could get as streaky as they are. They do got to avoid a losing streak type of skid, but they can go on a winning streak at any time the way this team has been going. So, look, a lot of pressure here from the Sharps to go under in this one. I mean, it is pretty much one-way traffic. You see the 8 over there. So, all right, I think it's probably an under for me too. Give me an under here with the Marlins and the Phillies. Man, I'm going under. I just go under in every game today. All right, plays are coming into the chat here right now, and you've got the Groovy Aliens back, everybody. It says Phillies late 5.5. Just take the Phillies as big as an alternate run line as you can get it right there. Ryan says take the Phillies on the run line. Robert's on the over here in this one. Farley says first 5 under. And hello to Sports Money in the chat today. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel Sports Money here on YouTube, the 17,000 subscriber powerhouse. And Terrell says, look, junk was okay. Talked about it there in that last game. Really looked pretty solid there. So, Phillies, look, you can't ignore it. They got the better starter here, and maybe they have maybe the Marlins have the slight bullpen advantage here in this game, actually. Just Sanchez could go very, very deep. So, okay, I'll just take it here and take the under in this one. Next up, the Tigers are on the road. They're taking on the Bucks here with Framber Valdez. The Tigers hitting the road here after losing 3 straight. Doesn't seem great. You got Carmen Majinski right here, 3.79 ERA and a 6-5 record. He's been overlooked this season because he's been in the bullpen most of the time. It does have 11 starts here, sometimes just as a piggyback guy. He's 3-8 to the under in his 11 starts, but Valdez is 14-8 to the over in his starts. Valdez 1.39 whip, 259 batting average against here for Majinski. He's got a 1.4 whip, 267 batting average against, and a 314 BABIP. Valdez, he's had a disappointing season just because too many blow-ups, really, in the end. He's been very erratic. Does have a 2.75 ERA in his last 3 games, but that's the only thing that's been solid. 1.47 whip, 270 batting average against, and his xFIP around 5 here. The Pirates' offense hasn't been great. They've been shut out here a little bit of late and really gone into the tank. But Framber hasn't been great here, and Pittsburgh's actually won 3 of 4. So, I don't know, this one kind of feels like I want to take the Pirates right now, even if their offense hasn't been too good. I think they might have the advantage with Majinski here, actually. The Pirates have put together a better run of late. They had 4 or more earned runs for the offense here in 3 of the last 4 games. 2 of those guys were lefties, Jake Bennett, Patrick Sandoval in yesterday's game. So, no, the offense has been way better at home. Would you rather trust Framber to struggle and maybe hope to get some offense out of these Tigers who were pretty dismal on the road, or maybe Pittsburgh at home against a guy like Framber who's having some issues? Majinski, back, because with the injuries here, he's getting the start because yesterday the Pirates had to shuffle things. They're giving Skeens an extra day of rest because he's been, not too good here. Kind of late now, right? You should think about that earlier in the season if you're the Pirates. Tigers have been better against righties here for sure, averaging, let's see, what do they got? 11 runs in the last 3 games or so, and they've had 9 runs over the last 2 matchups against some weak pitchers, Sean Burke and Tanner Bybee. I guess Burke's been okay. So, all right, I'm going to take the Pirates, so in this one at even money. Give me the Pirates here. They're not going anywhere, but neither is Detroit at this point. Pirates, they're both 4 games under 500. Okay, here we go. We've got over here for Robert and over for Farley as well. They've got the over in this one. Got to have somebody's got to go over today, right? On all these unders. Next up, the Padres are on the road taking on the Mets here with Walker Buehler up against Nolan McLean. Now, before you just say, hey, you got McLean here, the Mets are actually won 3 in a row. Look out. But Buehler has been solid here for the Padres right now, and he's backed by this hot offense of the Padres here. So, look, Buehler has a high ERA because the games he's lost, he's get crushed, and, you just leave him out there. You're not trying to save him too much. So he's got this high ERA, 4.88, but 3.14 in his last 3 games. Still gives up some hits and doesn't really strike too many out, but he's given up just 2 earned runs in the last 2 games against the Diamondbacks and the Brewers. Those are good offenses against right-handed pitching. The Mets offense has looked much better here. They're probably in the top 10 in the last week or so, and against right-handers, even better. The last 10 right-handers they've faced, they're averaging 3.2 runs and 5.3 hits. And they did beat up some guys like Bryce Elder and Jared Jones here of late. The Padres, probably top five over the last week offensively and doing damage against right-handed pitchers. They beat up, kind of took it to Gavin Williams. They took it to Logan Henderson a little bit as well. So Padres, they're hitting home runs versus righties more than any team in the league here right now over the last week. 11 home runs in the last 7 games for the Padres against right-handed pitching alone. So Padres here playing well. Mets, yeah, they're not much to be desired here moving forward, I guess, with the Mets, but. They do have a 3-game winning streak. They're not going to salvage the season or anything, but they've had a little bit of success here ever since Soto left the lineup with an injury. Here, that'll free up the team to do some good things here. So for McLean, 210 batting average against 274 BABIP, definitely has better numbers than Buehler here, but the Padres offense is clicking on the road, though it could be a little bit tougher against McLean, so maybe we will see a little bit of a pitcher's duel here in this one. Let's see what the chat says here. Like I said, Buehler's looked solid to me. I mean, I was skeptical, but I still kind of am. Farley likes the Mets on the money line. Terrell says San Diego money line or San Diego team total over because Buehler gets that run support. And the Padres offense has been on fire here. So, all right. I'm going to take the over in this one as well. Give me I will take an over. Phew. Thought I was going to have all unders there, but I do have this one to go over here at 8 runs. The Diamondbacks on the road here with Mitch Bratt going for Arizona here in this one. And for the Red Sox here, you've got to have a little Gamboa in you. And Gamboa, just an opener here for Alec Gamboa. Definitely have seen him out there in a relief role so far, 9 appearances, but this will be his first start, and he's just an opener here for sure, because after that, you're going to have here Brian Bello. Bello, the hottest pitcher in Major League Baseball here. Who would have known? You just sent him to the bullpen, forget about him, and everybody thought, much ado about nothing with Bello, but look at his numbers here ever since. Yes, if you look overall, maybe you're not impressed, but he's given up 1 earned run in his last 18 and a third innings, the last 5 outings. Now, that is just, a little under 4 innings per game, but that's what he's able to do right now. So, pretty awesome here, Bello, in this run. And, well, the Red Sox, they've definitely gone a little bit south here after that incredible streak. They haven't really put together another streak since then. They've kind of had a few more losses than wins since that incredible streak, but Arizona did win 2 out of 3 over the weekend and was able to do pretty well in that series at Atlanta, taking 2 games. I thought they might get the sweep, although they did not. And we'll see, but this, pretty decent here, Gamboa, if they can just get him through. I guess they feel like they got to protect Bello a little bit, put the left-hander out there to go after Corby Carroll, I guess. Diamondbacks have been good on offense in their recent games. They've been top 5 over the last week, even though on the road against right-handers is not the best spot overall for them. But Bellows looked like a completely different arm since they sent him back to the minor leagues. He's definitely been tagged in some games, but let's see here. The $1.45 does make it a little bit tough here. Maybe it's down to $1.40, but let's see what the chat says here. And nobody interested in this one, probably because of the nature of the pitching matchup here, maybe. Nobody's really too thrilled with Bratt so far. 1.4 whip, 230 batting average against, 250 on the BABIP. So, look, they're 2-5 with Bratt on the mound here. So, all right, I'm going to probably go with the under. I'm going to take another under in this one. Give me the under here with the Red Sox hosting the Diamondbacks on the morning steam show anyway. Farley, he likes the under as well. Hey, it's Monday. I don't know. Do I go under more on a Monday? I don't know. All right. And next up here, let's look at, you got the Athletics here taking on the Royals. And the Royals, look, Royals, hey, they do have a better record than the A's by like a game and a half. So let's just make them $1.90 with Waka because, obviously Waka is going to be all motivated in there to try to help the Royals get back in this pennant. How do you have $1.90 with these guys? Jeez. I mean, okay, the A's are not great, but they've won 2 of 3. Now, Mason Barnett doesn't thrill anybody, 6.15 ERA and a 1-3 record, but the A's, I'd probably prefer them in a situation like this, getting the big number. But I'll tell you, it's just going to be another under for me, I'm sure. Waka, because he is decent, right? Waka, you're always going to get a good effort, even if you want to. I'm trying to make fun of it here and saying, how do you lay $2 with Waka? But he is pretty consistent, 1.14 whip, 235 batting average against. Not only that, though, he's 6-18 to the under in his 24 starts, meaning, I don't know, the only way I can see it is that the opposite for right Terrell, no run support. Pitches well. The Royals are 7-17 with Waka on the mound to illustrate the point. He's 5-8. So basically, after you pull them, they're 2-9. So he keeps you in the game, and then boom. After that, no bueno. So I'll go under in this. I'm going to go under again, man. I probably have 9 out of 11 games going under here today. But Waka, 6-18 to the under in his 24 starts this season, and you need to look no further than the A's. At home they go over, and on the road, 24-35 to the under. So I'm going to go under here, and maybe even Barnett can have a decent start against the Royals. Anybody can pitch against these guys. I don't want to get carried away, but Barnett is kind of a young pitcher that, may have a future. He's been hittable, though. He's given up 11 home runs this season, and also he's given up 13 runs in his last 3 starts, so basically 1 run an inning. So better stop talking about it. Otherwise, maybe I should have just went with the team total under for the A's. But Athletics have definitely had better hitting than the Royals recently, but still far from far from good from far from good. But they did have a couple of good, strong outings here of late. Scored 8 runs against Texas and beat them 5-2 there yesterday to win that series for Oakland. They're actually over Texas at home. So, all right. Let's move on here and see what the chat said with that one. Another under. See, Ryan's with me too, thinking about these unders today. Farley's on the A's. Okay, next up here, we got a few more. We're doing fine here. The show's almost over. And we've got the White Sox here. And, you got Luis Castillo going here right now for the White Sox. Now, the numbers aren't great. 5 ERA, 5.06 ERA, but overall for Castillo, 4.96 earned run average this season. I think he's actually better with the White Sox, believe it or not. That's how bad he was. They're still making fun of him. But look, the White Sox have won 3 in a row. Castillo has a 4.09 ERA so far, I believe, with the White Sox. So he's actually, maybe he's been a little better. Maybe, like I said, I thought he was having, being homesick, leaving Seattle there. But for the Cubs, Shoto Imanaga here, he's got the good, strong numbers 3.73 ERA, but 109 whip, 230 batting average against here. And look, I think at this price, I probably just got a default almost to the White Sox in this one, just because, I don't want to say the rivalry or anything like that. I'm not saying they're even, I mean, of course there is a rivalry, but the Cubs are so strong here, and the White Sox are just fighting to, get this playoff spot wrapped up. Don't sweat these guys, man. They are going to the playoffs. I'm sure they won't blow it here. We know the Cubs are going, but they're the one that actually lost 3 of 4 here. Could the White Sox get one here with Castillo? I kind of like them in the, especially in this price range. I mean, the Cubs are, if you just went off the stats, you'd probably just have to take the Cubs as usual. But early at this price, Castillo, we know he's struggled, but looked great in his last start. 7 innings, 10 Ks. Was against the Reds, so I don't know. Maybe it wasn't that great after all. But Cubs have been, great on offense. Can't tell you that they haven't been. All right, let's see though here in this one. I'm probably going to take the White Sox here just because of this price. Imanaga, man, stays so consistent. Okay, well, maybe nothing from the chat here in this one. And look, like I said, when you got this team right now, the Cubs in this offense, we know they're certainly inside the top 10, if not inside the top 5 here right now. Second in RBIs. They number 1 in the league in drawing walks. That's what makes them so strong, really, offensively here. But I think at this price, maybe what's the first 5 here on the I'll take the White Sox here in the first 5, I think. Imanaga, look, I can't tell you he's not going to, go out there and mow possibly. Let me see. Plus a half at minus 110. I'm going to take the White Sox here in the first 5 at plus a half at minus 110. I'm not having hesitation. I just, the price here, the White Sox still playing well enough. Imanaga against the Sox last July, 7 earned runs and 12 hits in 3 innings. That was when Imanaga was getting used to his. Here's Parlay on the White Sox as well. So, all right, we've got some White Sox notes in there anyway. I'll try them here in this one. All right, next up, we've got the final game of the night here already. Thank you for joining me here on Night Moves. Wow. The Dodgers and the Rockies. The Dodgers are 260 against the Dodgers just got booed out of their own stadium. You hate to see it right now, but oh man, these Dodgers are so bad. I'm so glad that they're in the tank here right now. Maybe they'll blow it. If you bet the Dodgers every game, you might have one of the best records here, but you're still down 24 units this season. So, look, this is going to be, I think, you got Sugano here, 4.43 ERA. Sugano's 12-5. The Rockies are 14-7. The Dodgers can't cover a run line to save their life right now. Dodgers 50-69 as a run line favorite here. How do you just not take the Colorado Rockies in this one too? You might even take them on the money line here. I'll take them on the run line because you get that plus. But you gotta go with the Rockies here right now. Okay, the Rockies are basically playing not even 430 here maybe, but they're the team that's won 4 of 5. The Dodgers are the team in the tank. You got Blake Snell with a 5 ERA coming in here. Now, granted, it's been 2 starts, and the Dodgers were able to win one of those even, but 409 BABIP here for Snell. They told me he looked, fine, and that is going to be fine here. But The Dodgers got to find some pitching here all of a sudden. They're not going to go anywhere with these starters the way they're going. Can't get Otani, you got to give him all this rest so he'd be ready. Maybe he'll be shaky when he finally gets in there. And like I said, R.I.P. Tommy John, man. Tommy John said when they first gave him the first surgery there with the first, taking the ligament, transferring it from the leg, from the calf, I think is where they take that ligament from, and they put it in your arm. And they said to Tommy John, they said, well, Tommy, how'd the surgery go? And he said, well, I told him to uh, I guess after a few starts, and he said, "I told them to give me the ligament of Koufax, and they did, except it was Mrs. Koufax." So Tommy John had that sense of humor. He was actually a pretty good pitcher, pre-injury, but even better post-injury, and he was the first guy to get that surgery. That's why they call it Tommy John surgery. Wasn't Tommy John that made the surgery. He was the first guy to get it. TJS. And they'll call it Tommy John surgery forever. Kind of weird legacy, right? He was a pretty good pitcher, actually, within some championship clubs. Okay, anyway, enough story time here. I'm going to take the Rockies here. I got to take them on them on the run line now. Look, the Dodgers actually have. It does seem like this happens sometimes. The Dodgers are playing poorly, and they go in there, and they get to get healthy against the Rockies a little bit. They still own the Rockies, believe me. Rockies did win a game in LA back here about a month ago, 5 weeks ago, or so, when they had their series. So. Look, I think Sagano's probably going to pitch pretty well. I think Snell probably can get it under control here a little bit. Dodgers are 2-8 on the run line here over the last 10 games. They still got this number one offense on the road. And, the Rockies, don't forget, they've got a pretty good offense too. But I don't know, these pitchers, Rockies offense, because they play at home, they're, kind of close to the top five. Only thing that keeps them down is they don't really have a lot of power. And even, it's funny because they're in Colorado, but that just shows you how weak they are in the power department, actually. And they don't take a lot of walks, and they should. There. They put the ball in play. That's what I would say, because they actually don't strike out that much either. Okay. Oh, thank you, Terrell. I knew it seemed like a little bit of a short show there. Did I even have the graphic? Did I skip the graphic? Let me see here. Thanks, Terrell. Let me put that one in here. Maybe I'll just use Terrell's graphic. If Terrell had the odds in there, we would just use his graphic here. Farley did say take the Rockies plus 2.5. There you go. That might be a good idea, actually. Okay, Terrell, good call here. Let me fix that. Good. I want to do one more game because it feels like we didn't have enough games. Now I know why. And you can't be missing games. I mean, it really hurts your credibility for the host of a betting show that does every game. All right, here we go. It's going to be the Braves taking on the Twins, of course. Twins, they had a pretty bad weekend. No doubt about it. They're against the Phillies. They started off in Dyersville, Iowa, getting pasted, and then they moved to home, and they still got pasted. So let's put it up here with the Braves taking on the Twins. There we go. For Martin Perez here, 2.96 ERA, 1.15 whip. Can't say that Martin Perez isn't, pretty credible here, but I don't know. Twins have lost 3 in a row. I can't really give you a lot of excuses to take the Twins here right now, especially coming off the bad weekend. But at even money or better, I might just do it. Maybe it'd be best to go with the total here. I don't want to put too many eggs in the Twins basket right now, but look, Atlanta's been pretty strong. They've been fine here. but did lose 2 of 3 this past weekend against the Diamondbacks at home, so it didn't go that well. But the Twins aren't scaring anybody here. They, like I said, they just got crushed in that series. But I kind of want to trust them here, or at least as an underdog here. They're still 5 games under. They're not going anywhere. The Braves are. Uh, of late, the Braves are just kind of going through the motions, it feels like, for the most part. So let's see, though, what you have here in this one. The Twins are 44-30 to the over as an underdog, and they're definitely an underdog here. Can they get this offense going at all? Uh, Over 4.64 ERA, 1.23 whip. Martin Perez got a sub-3 ERA and a 208 batting average against. He's been very, very good, no doubt, uh, for Perez here. So maybe tough to get off the Braves anyway in this one, but I don't think I want to lay $1.20. That's all there is to it when it comes to this matchup. So let's see what you have here with the Braves on the road and against these Twins right now. Perez is having a solid season, no doubt about it. And not only that, over his last 3 starts, he's went 16 innings with no earned runs and a 2.69 FIP and a 0.69 whip. He really is off the charts. Twins offense has looked much better. In the game, well, they had a couple games where they just scored 1 run against the Phillies there in those first 2 games. But before that, against Baltimore, they did have 7 runs. They did score 5 yesterday. I'm trying to give them some credit here. Over has been hittable, no doubt about it. He's got a higher ERA. He's got 17 home runs allowed this season. He's given up 10 earned runs in his last 18 innings pitched. I couldn't give you the reason why to take the Twins. Other than the price, is what's disturbing me here a little bit. But man, Perez has been hot. It's just the Braves have not been great on offense recently and still have managed to find a way to win the 3 of the last 5 games right now. So, all right, I'll take another under here in this. I'm going to take under in the first 5, actually, with the Braves and the Twins. Under first 5 with Perez and over. Okay. I think we got that one in there. And Terrell, how about things named after the actual players, right? Robert's going over here. All right, let's go to our one WNBA game. Then the show is over. We'll see you the next time here. And we've got the Wings taking on the Valkyries. Well, this one seems pretty easy to me. I mean, come on. There have been 14 games in a row, and the WNBA have gone under. When do you just throw out the matchup and say, I don't care who's playing, just take it under? Man, that's not good. I went over in 2 games yesterday. Usually I'm all over trends like this. And, now that you think about it, right out of the All-Star break, there was more offense, things weren't getting down to the nitty gritty, if you know what I mean. And we're seeing, look, there's no playoff battles here, really. I mean, yes, maybe there's some jostling among the top position here, but remember, I don't see it now, especially that we're down to, mostly under 10 games. That I don't see. Look, the only team that's playing, well enough here to, maybe sneak into the mix somehow is, of course, Portland. We've talked about Portland, but there's still, if Portland's going to get into the playoffs, one of these teams is going to have to tank. Portland's still like 14 or 15-20 right now. The team right above them, basically in the standings, is Dallas, and they're 20-15. So both teams have 9 games left. Say the Dallas Wings lost 9 in a row, they'd be 20-24. And then the Phoenix won 9 in a row, they'd be 24-20. So I guess there's that hope. And there's a couple other teams in there too at 20. Washington also has pretty much the same record. But you're looking at basically one of those two teams would have to go probably 3-6 or 2-7, and Phoenix would probably have to win, 6 of 9 or 7 of 9 just to, sneak in there. So anything's possible, but 14 straight unders league wide. It doesn't matter about. Hey, has it totally turned here all of a sudden in the WNBA? All of a sudden, did all those uh, uh, over results this season get ruined by this streak? No, not really. It's still 141 and 116 to the over, but it is down to 54.8%. Remember, it was about 55.7, 55.8 in there, so it has affected it a little bit here right now. So, okay, and oops, make sure I got the right odds here in this for the game here. Okay, yeah, 6 and 162 here in this one between the Wings and the Valkyries. So I'll just go under. I'm just going under 14 straight unders in the WNBA. So take the under here. Won't get too technical. Robert's going under as well. And that's going to do it here for the Morning Steam Show. Thank you, everybody. Really had a great time. And we'll be back with you here tomorrow for a full slate of Major League Baseball. Don't forget, later today, probably this afternoon, I'm thinking, we'll have BB MMA picks and we'll preview the Contender Series card, actually, here for Tuesday. And then on Tuesday, we'll have the UFC show here for Saturday night's card, including that main event between Anthony Hernandez and Gregory Rodriguez here this week. That's the main event on Saturday night here, but we have Contender Series coming up here on Tuesday night. So this week, the UFC is still on the road. They're in Sacramento here, so that's kind of Hernandez territory, right? He's from Dunnigan, California, so that's a home game here pretty much for Hernandez here this week. All right, that's going to do it. Thanks a lot. Man, I wish we had some more sports to talk with you. We do have some soccer here today, right? We got one game in La Liga. So, all right. And Terrell says Dallas will get off to a slow start after traveling from Indiana over here to San Francisco for this game. So, all right. Thank you, Terrell. Thank you, everybody. We'll catch you again for more Morning Steam. Don't forget, stick around here and hour and 40 minutes. You're going to have the show with the guys, bases loaded. They'll go over the Major League Baseball card. Then later this afternoon is going to be VB MMA picks for that series. Okay, that's going to do it here for the show. That's for the Sports Money Network. I'm Ramon Scott. So long from Las Vegas.
I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9.